Well, hi folks, welcome once again to Pete's Kitchen Garden. Saturday the 29th of April, about 5:30 in the evening. Just had tea, steak, which our last cooked to perfection. I've been quite busy out here today actually. It's a cloudy day, it's been about 14-15 degrees, but you know, it's been okay, it's been dry. So I think we'll start off here. So basically this is obviously there's a planter there made out of some decking. These cylinders are actually an old drum kit that my son Liam had a few years ago and wrecked, so I decided to upcycle them. So what we've got starting at the back, oriental lilies, we've got some calendulas, you can just see, some pansies, and we've got trailing lobelia at the front, which is the idea is it's just sort of going to spill over the front of here like a nice waterfall. Mint, some dahlias in there, and we've got some busy lizzie, or to give it its proper name, Impatiens New Guinea, and I think they'll just look fantastic when they sort of bush out and start to flower. Look great. If you remember last year we had tubs of potatoes and things on the decking, and we don't need to do that this year, so it's quite nice to have a bit of colour in this part of the garden. Moving round, we've got a few bits and bobs in this plant pot. This is just stuff that I had left over from the annual border, which I'll show you in a second, and an acer there which I bought from work today. I've not been at work, it's my day off, but nipped in with the wife and my little boy for a few bits and bobs. I've always wanted an acer, planted it in ericaceous compost, and hopefully it'll be very happy. This border's just looking great, the sort of perennial / evergreen border. You know, half the time I forget what I've planted in there, so I never know what's going to come up, and it just gives us a nice bit of interest different times of year. It's mulched as well, so it's quite low maintenance. Done these today as well. So this is the annual summer bedding border that I do every year. We've got marigolds, petunias, pansies, lobelia, asters in there, and this, when it fills out, it just looks brilliant. It looked really good last year, and the thing I'm quite pleased about is that pretty much all of these I've grown from seed this year. The only thing I haven't is the lobelia, because for some reason they're so slow to germinate, so I ended up buying them. We do like lobelia, so I didn't mind spending a couple of quid on getting them. Right, onto the veg. Potatoes, just doing their own thing, coming along nicely, as you would expect. Overwintering garlic, again, coming along nicely, as you would expect. Nothing in that bed yet, but it's not going to be long. Strawberries, so I think I mentioned last video, these are all from Runners, and I bought some more from B&Q and put these in, and when we have some more that are reduced, I might put one more row in, to be honest. So yeah, we'll see how they do. Just behind the pond there, that hosta, I actually divided this one, took a sort of a third off that, and planted it there. Apparently they do quite well in the shade, so we will see. Okay, just moving on. So you can probably just about make out all the onions have fired now. So we've got 6 rows of red onions, 6 rows of yellow onions. The only problem with this bed is in between these rows of onions I put some rows of carrots, Nance, early variety, and I think because this is quite a sandy soil, the birds like to use it as a bird bath, and what they've done is they've just scattered the seeds all over the place. The onions are fine, but the carrot seeds, obviously being very small, I don't know where they're going to come up. What I'm thinking of doing is re-sowing and actually netting them over until they sort of get to a decent size. So that should hopefully keep everything off. It was one of the things I was going to do today, but I've sort of ran out of time. Underneath the net I've put a couple of rows of parsnips in. These are on seed tapes, which I've never used seed tapes before, and they're pretty good in that they give you the spacing you want, but I'll tell you what, they aren't half fiddly. In the sense that I did these yesterday and it was blowing a little bit of a breeze, you know, and try. It was just a bit fiddly, but we got there. Not everything can be easy in gardening, otherwise I don't suppose it'd be any fun, would it? Just before we go into the greenhouse, this is another thing I've done today, another bed. So I've sort of built a raised bed in front of the shed. The soil underneath is very clayey and horrible, so I decided this was the best way to go. I've got some chicken wire up on the shed, we've got sweet peas here, we've got some calendulas, and then I had a trailing lobelia left, so I've just sort of put it on the edge there. And I've also put a load of wildflower seeds in here. So the idea is that the sweet peas will just sort of blanket the shed, hopefully, with you know, nice flowers, and then obviously you know, we'll get the wildflower seeds, poppies, and all sorts of things in there. And I'm quite excited about that, actually. I think it might look good, but we'll see. Into the greenhouse. Right, I'm just going to shut the door a second. Try not to wobble the camera around too much. So, yeah, my tomato plants are in. Now, what I decided to do, if you remember last video, I was just going to plant them in this bed. It's about 4 inches deep, so kind of like a deep grow bag. And people grow tomatoes in grow bags, right? So that's what I was going to do. But in the end, the thing is, tomatoes do like to be planted deep. So I've done them in tubs, but I've cut the bottoms off these tubs, so that not only are the tomatoes planted deep in these buckets, but also the roots can get out underneath. And yeah, I think they'll be quite happy. Looking really healthy. I've got 3 Moneymaker, 3 Gardener's Delight. I always grow 3 cordons and 3 bush. I don't really have room to grow any more tomatoes, and to be honest, there's only 3 of us to feed. Yeah, 6 is more than enough. Looking a lot emptier in here because obviously a lot of stuff I've planted out today. My leeks need thinning out. That's a job that I didn't get around to today. These beetroot could go out now actually, but I'm just going to hang on a bit. I want to rake the vegetable beds a little bit more. The soil's still a little bit lumpy. I just want to get a sort of finer finish on that. Spring onions coming along slowly, as spring onions do, but coming along. This is the lobelia. Now, I put this in at the same time as the marigolds and the other bits that I put outside, and you can see how slow they are to grow. Now, whether I should have put them in earlier or not, I'm not sure. I might try and do them a bit earlier next year. We'll see. You know, it's all trial and error. First year I've done bedding plants from seed. So, you know, you learn every year, don't you? You make mistakes and you do things differently, and, you know, you build on things. So, they're the tumbling toms. We'll see how they do. Trailing lobelia, again, I mean, the germination's crap. It just looks like I've dropped the seeds all in one place, but I can assure you I didn't. And again, they've grown very slowly. They're still too small for me to prick out. I'll probably end up getting rid of them, to be honest. The sugar snap peas, every time I come out and look at these, they seem to have got bigger, so they're doing alright. They'll be going out pretty soon. The peppers, which I ended up buying because I think I mentioned that the seeds just didn't germinate at all, and I did them the same as I always do, pepper and tomato seeds. The tomatoes were fine and the peppers, nothing. I mean, at least last year they germinated. But, you know, never mind. There are worse things in life that can happen, as Dan would say, allotment diary. Cucumbers. Actually, sorry Dan, I can't remember if it's allotment diary or allotment journal. I can't remember, I think it's allotment diary. Anyway, I digress. Cucumbers, doing alright, they'll be getting planted soon. There's a few lettuce there. You notice outside I've got the sweet peas. I did buy them as plants because these ones are started from seed, and this is my second attempt at starting them from seed, and the germination is just not very good. I don't know if it's something that I'm doing or... but, again, it's not the end of the world. There are much worse things in life that can happen. So that, I think, is about it, folks. Yeah, it's been a busy day. Out in the garden all day. It's been great. I've enjoyed it. So anyway, until next time, thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for subscribing. I really do appreciate it. I only do these videos for fun, and I don't really do it for subs at all, but you know, it's nice that people enjoy watching, so thank you. So until next time, look after yourselves, take care, and bye for now.